Speaking of the world of music, we were all shocked and stunned this week as it was announced that the late, great David Bowie had passed away at the age of 69. Bowie was, to say he was one of a kind, of course, is selling him short. He was a force of nature. He changed music. If you were a fan of anyone, Madonna or Lady Gaga. Or anyone who...
The Cure.
Anyone who built their music on a persona, who was able to reinvent and transform themselves, Bowie was the father of all of that music.
Honestly, this guy was a father to anybody who was different. Anybody who was just like, I don't think like everybody else. Man, he's the artist's artist.
Yeah. He, of course, was first, had a big hit in 1969 in Britain with Space Oddity. That was his first hit. And then, of course, came Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars in the early 70s. And then he went on to be the Aladdin Sane persona and the Thin White Duke persona. And then his dance stuff in the 80s. Every time he reinvented himself, he put his mark on the music industry. Just hit after hit after hit. If you go back and you look at his catalog of music, you rediscover songs that you forgot you even knew, and you're like, oh my God, I loved that song when it came out. Just as a quick tribute, there's no way you could touch on all of his hits. Here's a little montage of some of Bowie's classic greatest hits.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You really made the grade.
My little child girl, you shouldn't mess with me.
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Hey, makes a man take things over all night.
She wants a young American.
And we could make it all just for one day.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
Walk beside me. Walk down by. Under pressure. Burns it thin and dry. Strips the family in two. Puts people on streets. Ziggy played guitar.
David Bowie. And as if that wasn't enough, that musical career wasn't enough, he also was a brilliantly talented actor.
Yeah.
He did The Elephant Man on Broadway. He was in a ton of films.
One of my favorite, he was really fucking haunting actor, but Last Temptation of Christ, he played Pontius Pilate. And he has that really wonderful scene with,
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe playing Jesus, where, he's just like, it doesn't matter how you want to change things. We don't want them changed.
Yeah. Whether it's loving or fighting.
Yeah. He's like, he tells him he's going to take him out to Golgotha and crucify him. He's like, there's 10,000 skulls out there. He's like, I do wish you people would count them. You might learn something. It's so fucking calm, subtle performance. Growing up in a church, hearing that name and hearing that story fucking all the time, watching that dude fucking personify it in this really calm, chilling, not like, fuck you, Jesus, I'm going to take you to the woodshed. He's indifferent. He's just like, I don't really give a shit. This is just something I have to do. Such a fucking on-point performance. But honestly, The Hunger. You can fucking list a bunch of them, man.
Man Who Fell from Earth. Absolute Beginners.
Yes, which I've been listening to a lot this week. But for me, it's not to diminish any part of his body of work, but he'll always be Jareth, the Goblin King from Labyrinth.
Yeah, I think it's the touchstone for a lot of us.
Yeah, and that movie was not successful when it came out.
No.
It was a bomb, man, but fucking find somebody who doesn't love fucking Labyrinth and shit. And when he died, the first thing I thought of was the lyrics to that song. It's tough to find that album, too. You can't find it online. It's only forever. It's not long at all. That's such a perfect David Bowie fucking lyric right there.
He released his last album just on his birthday last week before he passed.
Isn't that crazy? Fucking a few days.
He orchestrated his exit as he orchestrated his career just perfectly. As a tribute to his acting work, as Kevin mentioned, Labyrinth is a touchstone for a lot of us with David Bowie on the big screen.
It's a Labyrinth clip.
Just a little taste as we say goodbye. David Bowie from Labyrinth.
Give me the child.
Sarah, beware. I have been generous up until now, but I can be cruel.
Generous. What have you done that's generous?
Everything. Everything that you wanted, I have done. You asked that the child be taken. I took him. You cowered before me. I was frightening. I have reordered time. I have turned the world upside down, and I have done it all for you.
One of those performers that you just are riveted by everything he does. He just had charisma and talent and passion and energy, and he was unique.
I read somewhere online that he was a product of art schools, and not even expensive art schools. Like apparently in England back in the day, they publicly funded art schools.
Yeah, that's where you went if you couldn't cut it academically. You know?
And that's where he was encouraged by his teachers who were like, yeah, no, this is good, keep doing that. That's how you grow into a David Bowie. A little fucking encouragement goes a long way, and he got it from youth, and then he got it from the audience. Like, try to point to something he ever did where you're like, well, it's just the same old David Bowie. Like, he changed each fucking time. He was an artist up until the end. That last album is like a soul album, blues album, or some jazz album. It's not even.
It's very dark and sort of moody, and it's a farewell. Is what it is. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Brilliant guy, man, brilliant. It's weird how many fucking songs as you sat there and listened to the montage, like, oh, I forgot that. Oh, I fucking
That's
forgot
only half
that.
a dozen, you know.
In every decade, he was active, man. He'll be missed. Huge fucking bucket of wood.
No.